Shall obey thy will. you and your liver. We want to thank the Church of God. We want to thank the Reverend J.C. Chokor Jr. We want to thank the subordinate Reverend. We want to thank the choir. Reverend J.C. Chokor, we thank you for all the support. We thank the church also for access to the pulpit. We do not take this for granted. I want to especially thank the choir. Each time we call upon them, they answer. And they have been so amazing. Nothing compares to them amongst other choirs. God bless you. We also want to thank the drama unit. Most time, because of how elaborate our topics are, we try to display them through drama. And they've been very unrelenting. God will bless you and promote you especially. We want to tell you a story of the liver. The liver is an important organ in the body. In Hebrew's words, it's called keves, which means heavy. The liver is the heaviest, largest organ in the body. It is about 1.5 kg in weight. And it constitutes about 2% of the total body weight of a man or a woman. It is located almost at the middle of the body, at the right upper abdominal space. It is eventually covered by the ribs, well protected, and it's not easily fed. Medicine will say it's not easily palpable. When you begin to feel the liver, means there's something gradually getting wrong with the body, with the liver. It is supplied carefully by two major blood vessels. No other organ in the body except the heart is supplied by two vessels. Means it is very important for the body. The liver is a very resilient organ. It doesn't talk, it doesn't disturb. Before it will begin to shout that there is a problem, of course, indeed, about 70% of the liver is already compromised. That's when you begin to see signs of a chronic liver disease. The liver is connected with almost every organ of the body. The heart directly connected to it. The intestines are directly connected to it. The spleen directly connected to it. Gallbladder, which is part of it, is connected to it. And the pancreas is connected to it. And of course, it's also connected with the lungs. The liver is an organ known to have more than 500 assignments, more than 500 functions that it performs in the body. We cannot really exhaust all of these functions, but we will look at few of these functions. The first is that it detoxifies. It makes things less toxic. It makes things less harmful. Beautifully, when you drink, when you eat, when you swallow, it gets to your stomach. And surrounding the wall of the stomach are blood vessels. Immediately this food is digested and filtered, whether it's in the intestine, whether it's in the stomach, it first reports to the liver. The liver is a central processing unit. Whether you drink water, whether you take alcohol, once the filter out of the digestive system, it reports to the liver. And the liver has a big vessels for this report, and it's called the portal vein. You know who a portal is? What report? So it supplies all the nutrients, good or bad, to the liver. And what does the liver do? It begin to process them. It begin to oxidize some of the toxins. And when he has beautifully done all of this, it will send it to the heart, for the heart to come around the body. The liver also has soldiers that help to cleanse particulate objects, bacteria, and it is called the puffer cells. They engulf, like amoeba, they engulf particulate objects, they engulf bacteria. Remove them from the system so that it doesn't report it to the heart to pump around the body. The liver produces a chemical. And if you take a look at the liver there, you see a green structure there. That green structure is part of the liver. It is called the gallbladder. In those days, as a child, our parents would go and buy grass cutter. And when we see the grass cutter, we begin to frown our faces because we are going to butcher it. Things were so cheap and easy then. And then as you are butchering the grass cutter or the porcupine, your elder ones or your mother will say, that meat when they post when the vessel, make sure see that gallbladder not burst boots. Because if it does, it will be what? It will be bitter. So that is the structure we are talking about, a special structure owned by the liver. And that structure houses the gall. It is the gall that even gives the stool its characteristic smell. The gall helps to break down fats. When you eat food that are thick laden with fat, there is no way it can filter through the wall of the intestine. So the gallbladder will secrete so that its secretion will act like a soap, break down the fat. You know when you bring your shirt is stained with fat, if you wash it with water, it will not go away, but when you put detergent, it will break it down. So the gall salt or the bile breaks down fat so that the fats can be absorbed into the system. The gallbladder also secretes some chemicals because the food in our stomach are acidic. The stomach is acidic. So the gallbladder secretes liquid bile to make sure the acid is less for the body to digest. The bile also helps in absorption of some vitamins. Therefore, the liver is capable of storing soluble vitamins like vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin A. The liver is also important in storing some iron in the body. It stores copper, which are important for transmission of current in the body. It stores iron, which are important in making blood cells, red blood cells. Ions are needed. No wonder if a woman goes to the clinic, is bleeding so much, the doctor will give them Felix. That is because they feel that the store of iron in the liver is getting depleted. So the liver stores iron. The liver is also important in generating heat. Most of the heat you feel, that's somewhere you got up, the place is warm. The liver generates a lot of heat and also distributes the heat around the body. The liver is also also important in production of a lot of protein. You've heard about albumin. When you have liver problem, they say go and do test. One of the tests they want to see is your level of albumin. And also, it produces a lot of proteins, like the lipoprotein. So the function of the liver is inexhaustible. The liver is also recognizes sugar as the fuel of the body. That you are seated here, it's your sugar that is burning. That you are thinking, it's your sugar that you are using. That you are walking, it's your sugar that you are using. So carefully, when there are excess sugar in the body, the liver can store the sugar in the liver. And then when there are no sugar in the body, it can convert any other thing to function as sugar. It has that power to do that. If a bulky man is arrested and placed in the prison, the first 4 days he will look big and massive. But when you visit that man after 7 days, you'll find that he has lost so much weight. What is happening? The liver wants energy, wants glycogen. So what will it do? It will break down fat. It will break down protein. It will even break down muscle cells everywhere. And then releases the sugar that is stored. By the time it breaks down the fat, the person invariably will lose some weight. So the function of the liver is inexhaustible. What happens when the liver is sick? Like we said, when the liver is sick, chronic ailment, meaning that the sickness is over six months. And then about 70% of the liver is compromised. Then because it serves the whole of the body, it will begin to manifest from hair to toe. The hair can look light, we call it fluffy, few of them can fall off. Then the chest, the breast can become big, almost looking like a woman's breast, we call it gynecomastia. Then if you look at the palms, it can become redder than it used to be. Palmar erythema. Then the fingers can bend to joint contraction. And at the very extreme, the belly will begin to gather water. The belly is big. We call it ascites. If it progresses more than that, then the legs will be swollen. Peter edema. And then for what we all know, the eyes will begin to be yellow. Then definitely you know that a major organ is now involved. The liver solves its own problems, gets involved in other organs' problems, shares their problems, and also get destroyed by other organs' problems. Most of the time, if an individual has cancer, he has cancer in the leg, cancer in the uterus, cancer in the breast. Most of the time, it's not the site of that cancer that will kill the patient, but a major spread to a major organ. If the cancer spreads to the liver, then we have a big problem in our hand. If it spreads to the lungs, then the individual cannot breathe well and they are accumulating water. So therefore, problems of other organs problems can fail the liver. When the liver is failing as a resilient organ, it will fight back. And then the medical personnel will say the liver is doing what? It's compensating. When the liver cannot fight back again, see the liver is decompensating. When the compensation is so troublesome, and then an individual cannot cope, that individual will need finally a liver transplant. But unfortunately, liver transplant is not available in Africa. Therefore, beloved, we must be careful what we do with the liver. Like I said, the liver has its own problem, can be sick, can even have its own personal cancer. It can have things related to jaundice, it can have blockage, it can have stone in the gallbladder, it can have so many things while performing its duty. No problem. The liver also can inherit diseases from parents. You don't have control over that. Very possible. But there are few instances where you have control. And therefore, you must perform your role as a beloved brethren to take care of that liver. What are the areas we can have control? Clearly, the drama unit has demonstrated a lot of them, but we may further expatiate on this. Firstly, the liver can be affected by hepatitis. We call them viral hepatitis, hepatitis B, hepatitis C. Clearly, hepatitis B is one of the major causes of chronic liver disease and failure. Hepatitis B is not treatable, it's not curable, but it is what? Treatable, and you can manage and live with your life. Okay, so hepatitis B, how did they get hepatitis B? You sleep with a woman indiscriminately, not caring his status. Hepatitis B is far more infectious than HIV. The book says that hepatitis B is 100 times more infectious than HIV. Hepatitis B is capable of staying outside the human body, on the table, on the playing ground, on the skin, and survive for 10 days. Body fluids, transfusion, unnecessary circumcision, tattooing, indiscriminate acts, anal sex, they are all responsible for hepatitis B. Hepatitis B can be transferred directly from the mother to the child. We call it mother-to-child transmission. If hepatitis B is gotten in childhood, only 5% of those children will clear their hepatitis B. That means those children will eventually come down with chronic hepatitis B. But for adults, if an adult gets hepatitis B, because their immune system is strong, more than 90% of that hepatitis B, the body will clear them on its own. That is why when we find a patient come positive with hepatitis B, we say, let's repeat it 6 months' time. What are we doing? We are giving room to that individual, whether his own personal immune system can clear that hepatitis B. What does this mean to us? It means emphasis on children hepatitis B is more important, because most adults, when they get hepatitis B with liver problem, they had it in childhood. It is known that over 250 million people are positive with hepatitis B worldwide, and they are running chronic liver disease. Why don't they know? Because the liver is a resilient organ. I'm not going to talk unless they discover accidentally. So WHO is laying much emphasis on mother-to-child transmission of hepatitis B. If you go to the hospital as a mother, you want to give birth, screen for hepatitis B. Not for yourself alone, but for the child unborn. And then if they find it, they can immunize it or give what we call immunoglobulin, deal with the situation immediately. What about hepatitis C? Almost the same way that they get hepatitis B, then they get hepatitis C. But hepatitis C is not as infectious as hepatitis B. Most of the time, people, when they do very strong things, they sleep with women through the anus, very rough things, you get hepatitis C. Or directly they transfuse them, you get hepatitis C. This hepatitis, when they talk so, what is wrong with them is that they can make the liver to be inflamed, the liver to swell up. And when the liver swells up, it begins to fight back. As it's fighting back, it's getting destroyed. And it's getting destroyed, it cannot replace it with the normal tissue that God has made. Just like you had an injury in your leg. The leg will eventually get healed, not so, but eventually it will leave you with what? A scar. So by the time the liver has many scars within itself, it can no longer perform its duty. Then the liver will begin to fail. And as it's having scar, it's becoming hard. It's becoming strong. Don't forget that most blood vessels connect with the liver. The what's it called? The porta, the inferior vena cava, the porta, and all of them, they cannot go as smooth as they used to be. So water begin to accumulate in the body, and then the liver will begin to fail. So hepatitis B and C are avoidable. Get your children vaccinated. Once in a while, do a liver ultrasound and look at your liver and see, is this still smooth as God made it? Now let's look at the other one, alcohol. You saw them displayed in that play, alcohol. When you take alcohol, as you begin to drink the alcohol, when you go see live room, then they quantify the alcohol as units. 1 unit of alcohol is 1 bottle of beer. 1 unit of alcohol is 1 Ghana's of what? Kind. Yeah. Oh, that's false. So if in a week you are taking up to 21 units of alcohol, the liver is a silent organ. After 5 years to 10 years, it is documented that that liver will begin to fail and begin to run a chronic course, will begin to be hard, will begin to be rough. If you take the picture, it will look like something that has rashes. It's one of the pictures there. You look at it, okay, it's not so clear. The bottom one is already hard. So that's what alcohol can do. And the liver, in processing alcohol that has come to him from the stomach, it will leave a chemical called acetaldehyde. The acetaldehyde is poisonous to the liver directly, and it will begin to spoil the liver. This, I think, is also avoidable. Why should an individual take alcohol up to 21 units every week? 21 units every week. 21 units every week. You take 1 Ghana's, which is 1 unit, because they come in percentage. Ogogoro is stronger than beer. There's another one, ton is stronger than ogogoro. So those ones, whiskey, those ones are strong. So when you take little of it, you are as bad as someone who is taking a full bottle. And when an individual is taking this over and over, the liver can be like a computer when they open. You can't do anything. You can't gym. Therefore, the person will vomit blood. Because other vessels where God made for the body, for pregnancy, when they don't forget before, when they open up. But as they are opening up, they're not strong like the adult vessel. So what will begin to happen, they begin to leak blood into the stomach. So if an individual is vomiting blood, not just to say an only ulcer, most of the time people vomit blood because the liver is in it. That individual can also stool blood. If it does not stool blood, the blood will be digested and then it can come out black, foul smelling. Such person will report to the hospital. Another aspect of it is not alcoholic fatty acid. I know they drink alcohol, but at the shop well. Any eatery, when I see, I go branch. And when I branch, I will take ice cream. I will take bonbon. I will take many things with oil. I will take many things with carbohydrates. And then when they open another eatery, you are there again, neglecting the household food. Household food are a lot better. Why? Because they have vegetables, they have grains, they are less in oil content, and therefore they are more nutrition to the body. A constant abuse of nutrition is not a good well-being. After a while, the stomach will be big. After a while, because the liver store fat, begin to store the fat in the liver. And then the fat begin to displace the liver cells and their function. And then the liver begin to fail. So these, and then the use of hard drugs. Reject yourself personally. You take drugs that are not prescribed. Chef, let me pay you say, I don't know, it's very common in the hospital. Once there's a pain, this quadrant in the hospital, the patient will tell you, I have a pain. And commonly, they are even the educated one. And therefore, I can't use with native. The native that you have used, both you and the man who pay, you don't know the concentration of the content. You don't know how to administer it. You don't know how toxic it is to the system. A lot of people have come with sudden liver failure, sudden kidney failure, because of administration of drugs that are not quantified, that are not verified, and whose content are not known. Surprisingly, if you see those who are preparing the native concoction, you will shake your head. Somebody who does not know his left from right. The more dirty a man wants to prepare native concoction is, the more they believe him. The more stunted in growth he is, the more they believe him. The more remote he lives from urban area, the more they believe him. But invariably, these are people who are either to be failures in school. The only extra thing that they can have, which for us Christians we do not promote, is that they may be witches. And can the witch really bless you with anything good? I will tell you a story about a native doctor very briefly. When I served in Katsina, the government was providing drugs, 50% free. If you pay for Panadol and it is 100 naira, the government has made 50 naira. Then immediately I came, one big man come and he put a huge money in envelope for me. And I said, what is this money for? He said, the other doctors when live here, they not tell you. I said, no. He said, okay. Have you heard of Malam? So? I said, yes. He said, what do you know about Malam? So I said, they said it cures. And sometimes in hospital, in clinic, even full pass the Orthodox clinic. He said, yes, that is the word. And that if I comply, I will enjoy it. I said, okay, tell me what you want to do. He said, we get the drugs free. I mean, half the price, which is amazing. Then when he gets home, if you have ulcer, it will dissolve omeprazole or ogogoro for you. If you get BP, it dissolves nifedipine or ogogoro for you. If you need multivitamin, it dissolves it. So most of the time it surprises people with how is concussion work. But is it really a straightforward concussion? No. Does he know the dose? No. But his clinic is always full. And then before he left, he said, if I will not accept the money, I should better keep quiet, otherwise it will come for me. He brought out a gun and showed it to me. that it's a serious business. And truly, I did not speak of this to anybody. But because before I left, my mother told me to be very careful where I am going. So my emphasis is that sometimes they deserve the orthodox medication for preparations for you, and you think that these people are amazing. But funny enough, the content is not known. Okay. The problem of the liver are much, but some of them we can solve them. When you want to take prescription, be careful about the prescription. Be sure that it's given by a doctor. The fact that you now know what to take, I need to take Medic 55 for headache, does not mean when you have headache, you go and buy Medic 55. The doctor may know what duration you need to take it, how you need to take it, and when you need to follow it. I want to go back to the portion that we have just read. Suddenly, he followed her like an ox to a slaughter, like a deer darting into a snooze. And suddenly, an arrow pierces his liver. Like a bird darting to a snare, little did he know that this would take his life. What a typified Bible reading. If you go to the beginning of that scripture, you will see how the woman lured the man. You will see that this woman is a married woman, but he has sweet wealth. He has compelling wealth. And he lured him. Have you ever observed the ox going to a slaughter? It's common when you drive the highway, you see the man running with the ox towards the slaughter. The ox does not know. The cattle does not know where it's going to. So joyfully he followed. Suddenly he followed her like an ox to a slaughter, like a deer darting into his snooze. Suddenly the arrow pierces his liver. Little did he know that this would cost his life. I don't know what you are following. I don't know what is leading you astray. I don't know what is so beautiful, so readily made for you that you do not care. But remember that your liver can be pierced. Are you following a promiscuous woman? Are you following a promiscuous man? Are you following someone's wife? The aftermath can be terrible. Your liver can be pierced. You can get hepatitis B. You can get hepatitis C. You can get HIV. You can invite the trouble to yourself and bring that trouble to an innocent woman in the matrimony. You can bring that trouble to an innocent man in the matrimony. Suddenly, an arrow will pierce the liver. Are you like Solomon, who don't care about godliness because the woman is pretty, because the man is pretty, and you follow like an horse to a slaughter? Can pierce your liver. Are you a boy? Are you a girl? Are you so much enticed by money that you don't care? And you don't care where you get this money from? You don't care where you source this money from? You don't care what sacrifice you make. You don't care who dies. You don't care whether it's your daughter. You don't care whether it's your brother. Brethren, it can pierce your liver. It can bring you sadness. And little would you know that it can cost you your life. Are you a woman? Are you a young girl? In spite of all the godly men that surrounds you in the God's vineyard, in that quest to marry a rich man, in that quest to follow that huge sum of money, have you been called to Abuja? What are you following? Have you left no one, no trace of you, and you are in that big hotel? It can pierce your liver. That liver has been invested in many hotels. That lungs have been invested in many hotels. That kidney have been invested in many hotels. In Lagos, in Asaba, in Abuja, in Warri, and most beautiful children, singular child of a family have been thrown off the car on the highway because of quest for money and riches. Are you a young man? Are you taking drugs and you don't care? Are you so used to the drugs that without that drugs you now demonstrate abstinence feeling? You shake, you tweet, and therefore when a pressure is on you, you don't care where you get that money from. You don't care what seed you break. You don't care what life you take. You don't care shouting on your parents. You don't care giving your parents a heart attack. That can pierce the liver. And you care less if it will cost you your life. Are you a young man in particular? Are you an elderly man in particular? Are you a man of God? Are you a rich man? Are you using that alcohol privately, nobody knows? And for over the years, you have been using that alcohol. The wife speaks to you, you do not care. Because you are used to the alcohol. And you feel you are taking little for the stomach sake. Experiment has shown that 21 units of alcohol weekly is most likely going to lead to chronic liver disease. Brother, you can pierce that liver. Do you have so much money? Do you visit all the eateries? Do you buy all the junks? You don't do exercise to live a redundant life. Like the drama stated, your tummy is coming out and you feel that this is the best of life. That liver can be pierced. That liver can become fatty. That liver can fail. Or you are one of us here and your eyes are beginning to get yellow and your tummy is beginning to get fuller and your legs are beginning to swell and your hair are getting fluffy and you are losing weight that you cannot explain. Why not check the hospital? It can pierce your liver. For brothers and sisters, my call to you today is that of prospect, is that of good fortune, is that of better tomorrow, is that of a better horizon, is that your liver and you will be celebrated, and that you have the opportunity to vaccinate all your newborn child. You have the opportunity to screen for hepatitis B and C. Then we have you and your liver well celebrated. I want to let you know, on behalf of the Health Committee, that the Health Committee of Fellowship is offering for the first 100 people a rescreen for hepatitis B and C in our clinic free. And we are not going to stampede you. You can come from Monday to Friday at your own time. Go to the state clinic. We are buying the best of specimen to screen you. And when we have anything untoward, you will be well directed to come to the hospital. Mind you that you have hepatitis B is not a death sentence. Some people can have hepatitis B throughout life. They will not have a chronic disease, but they need to be monitored. And if they have a chronic disease and is diagnosed early, there are drugs to be taken to maintain that level. Brothers and sisters, may you and your liver be celebrated. God bless you.